complete 3 trials. The first trial is the trial of courage. Mira nodded and prepared herself for the challenge. Leora's voice continued, "In the heart of the garden lies the maze of shadows. You must navigate through it to find the Heartstone, a gem that will reveal the path to the next trial." Mira entered the maze of shadows, a labyrinth filled with shifting walls and mysterious illusions. The maze was dark and eerie, with shadows that seemed to move and whisper. Mira's heart raced, but she kept her focus on finding the Heartstone. As she navigated through the maze, Mira encountered various obstacles, illusionary creatures and deceptive paths. She relied on her inner strength and determination to overcome each challenge. Finally, she reached the center of the maze, where the Heartstone glowed with a warm, comforting light. With the Heartstone in hand, Mira returned to the entrance of the maze, where Leora awaited her. "You have completed the trial of courage," Leora said. "The next trial is the trial of wisdom. You must seek out the sage of the garden and answer his riddle." Mira followed the compass of the Heartstone and found the sage, an ancient tortoise with a wise, knowing gaze. The sage spoke in a deep, calming voice, "To pass the trial of wisdom, you must solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Mira thought carefully, recalling the riddles and puzzles she had solved before. "The answer is an echo," she said with confidence. The sage nodded and presented Mira with a shimmering, silver key. "You have passed the trial of wisdom," he said. "This key will guide you to the final trial." Mira took the key and followed its guidance to a serene pond in the garden, where a gentle, glowing figure emerged from the water. "I am the spirit of the moonlight," the figure said. "To complete the final trial, the trial of kindness, you must help restore the moonflower to full bloom. It is the heart of the garden and the source of its magic." Mira looked around and noticed that the moonflower, a magnificent bloom with petals that shimmered like silver, was wilting and in need of care. She gently tended to the flower, using the knowledge she had gained from her grandmother's garden. She watered it with enchanted water from the stream and sang a soothing lullaby. As Mira cared for the moonflower, its petals began to glow and regain their vibrant color. The garden seemed to come alive with renewed energy and magic. The spirit of the moonlight smiled warmly. "You have shown great kindness and restored the heart of the garden," the spirit said. "You have completed all 3 trials and unlocked the true magic of the enchanted garden." The grand oak tree's door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber filled with ancient scrolls and treasures. At the center of the chamber was a beautiful, radiant crystal that pulsed with a soft, golden light. Leora appeared beside Mira. "This crystal is the source of the garden's magic," Leora explained. "It has the power to bring joy and prosperity to the world outside. As a token of our gratitude, we offer you a gift, a magical seed that will allow you to create your own enchanted garden." Mira accepted the gift with gratitude and returned to her village with a heart full of wonder and a magical seed. She used the seed to create a beautiful garden in her village, one that was filled with vibrant flowers and enchanting magic. The village flourished, and the garden became a cherished place for all to enjoy. Mira's adventure became a beloved story in the village, inspiring others to seek their own magic and embrace the wonders of nature. And so, Mira lived a life filled with joy and wonder, always connected to the magic of the enchanted garden. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a secluded kingdom called Luminera, there was a village renowned for its stunning beauty and tranquil nature. At the heart of Luminera stood an ancient castle, home to the kind and wise Queen Alara. The castle was surrounded by a lush garden, and in the garden center lay a magnificent pond known as the Moonlit Mirror. This pond was said to reflect not only the moon's light but also the true desires of anyone who gazed into it. In the village lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curious spirit and kind heart. She spent her days helping her neighbors and dreaming of grand adventures. Yet, despite her vibrant life, she often felt a yearning for something more, a longing she could not quite understand. One evening, under a full moon that bathed the village in silver light, Lyra ventured to the castle's garden to see the moonlit mirror for herself. The villagers spoke of its magic, and Lyra was eager to uncover its secrets. As she approached the pond, the moonlit mirror shimmered with a radiant glow. Lyra knelt by the water's edge and gazed into its depths. The reflection that met her eyes was not just of the moonlit garden, but of a mysterious forest she had never seen before, filled with towering trees and sparkling streams. A voice, gentle and soothing, spoke from the water. "Brave Lyra, the moonlit mirror reveals not only what you seek but also what is needed. To fulfill your heart's desire, you must embark on a journey to the enchanted forest and retrieve the Star of Serenity." Lyra's heart raced with excitement and determination. "Where can I find the enchanted forest?" she asked. "The path will reveal itself to those who are pure of heart and seek with true intention," the voice replied. "Follow the light of the moon and trust in your courage." With the moonlight guiding her, Lyra set off on her journey. The path was illuminated by soft, glowing orbs that floated gently above the ground. She followed these lights, which led her through a series of meadows and over babbling brooks. After hours of travel, Lyra found herself standing before the entrance of the enchanted forest. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves sparkling like diamonds in the moonlight. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped into the forest. Inside, the forest was a labyrinth of shimmering light and shadow. Lyra's heart guided her as she navigated through the maze-like paths, following the soft whispers of the wind. She soon encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Welcome, young traveler," the owl said. "To find the Star of Serenity, you must first prove your worth by solving 3 trials." Lyra listened intently as the owl explained the trials. 1. The trial of courage. Face the Phantom River, a stream with illusions that test your bravery. 2. The trial of wisdom. Solve the riddle of the ancient trees to uncover the path forward. 3. The trial of compassion. Help a lost creature find its way home. Determined, Lyra began the first trial. She reached the Phantom River, where eerie mist and ghostly figures floated over the water. Lyra's heart raced, but she steeled her nerves and crossed the river by focusing on the solid ground beneath her feet, not the illusions that tried to distract her. She successfully completed the trial of courage. Next, Lyra arrived at the ancient trees, their gnarled branches forming an intricate puzzle. Each tree seemed to whisper a clue. Lyra listened carefully and pieced together the riddle, which revealed a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. With this, she completed the trial of wisdom. The final trial was the most challenging. Lyra heard the faint cries of a small, lost creature. Following the sounds, she found a tiny fawn trapped in a tangled thicket. Gently, Lyra freed the fawn and comforted it. The fawn nuzzled her gratefully before leading her to a hidden glade. In the center of the glade, bathed in moonlight, lay the Star of Serenity, a beautiful crystal orb that glowed with a soothing light. Lyra carefully took the orb, and the forest seemed to come alive with a soft, harmonious melody. With the Star of Serenity in hand, Lyra made her way back to the moonlit mirror. As she approached the pond, the orb's light mingled with the moon's reflection, creating a brilliant, calming radiance. The voice from the moonlit mirror spoke again, "You have completed the trials with courage, wisdom, and compassion. The Star of Serenity is yours, and with it, you will bring peace and joy to your heart's true desire." Lyra's heart swelled with happiness. She understood now that her journey had been about discovering her inner strength and kindness. She returned to the village, where she used the Star of Serenity to spread peace and harmony, helping to heal the hearts of those around her. From that day on, Lyra became known not just for her adventurous spirit, but also for her ability to inspire and uplift those in need. The moonlit mirror continued to shine brightly in the castle's garden, a beacon of hope and wonder for all who sought its magic. And so, in the kingdom of Luminera, Lyra's tale of bravery and compassion became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that true fulfillment comes from the journey of the heart. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling emerald hills and a vast, sparkling sea, there was a small, charming village known for its friendly people and their beautiful crafts. This village was unique because it was built right on the edge of the sea, where the waves kissed the shore and the salt air carried tales of adventure. In this village lived a young girl named Nia. Nia was known far and wide for her courage and curiosity. She had a special bond with the ocean, often spending her days exploring the tide pools and collecting seashells. But what fascinated her most were the stories about a magical artifact hidden deep beneath the sea, the Starfish Crown. Legend had it that the Starfish Crown was a wondrous treasure, said to be made of pure starlight and capable of granting a single, noble wish. Many had sought it, but none had succeeded. The crown was guarded by the mystical Sea Queen, a gentle yet formidable ruler of the underwater realm. One bright morning, Nia stood on the shore, gazing out at the shimmering sea. She had made up her mind to find the Starfish Crown and use it to wish for her village's prosperity. With a heart full of determination, she set out on a small boat she had built with her father's help. Nia sailed through the crystal waters, guided by the stories and maps she had gathered. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the waves, she reached a hidden cove. There, the water glowed with an ethereal light, signaling the entrance to the underwater realm. With a deep breath, Nia dove into the water. To her amazement, she found herself surrounded by a world of wonder. Brightly colored fish darted past, and coral reefs sparkled like precious gems. She followed a trail of glowing sea anemones until she arrived at the grand palace of the Sea Queen. The palace was an awe-inspiring sight, built from iridescent shells and pearls, and bathed in a soft, azure light. Nia was greeted by the Sea Queen herself, a majestic figure with flowing seaweed hair and eyes that shone like moonlit tides. "Welcome, brave Nia," the Sea Queen said in a voice like the soft crash of waves. "I have been expecting you. What brings you to my realm?" Nia took a deep breath and spoke with heartfelt sincerity. "Your Majesty, I seek the Starfish Crown to make a wish for my village. We are in need of prosperity and hope." The Sea Queen studied Nia with a thoughtful expression. "The Starfish Crown is not given lightly. It is a symbol of pure intention and selflessness. Before you may receive it, you must prove your heart's worth." The Sea Queen then set forth 3 tasks for Nia. 1. Restore the Coral Grove. A once vibrant coral grove had been damaged by a storm. Nia needed to help heal the corals and bring back their color and life. 2. Guide the lost sea turtles. A group of baby sea turtles had lost their way. Nia had to help them find their way back to the ocean currents where they belonged. 3. Sing the song of the sea. Nia had to sing a song that could calm the tempestuous waters and bring peace to the ocean's depths. Determined, Nia set to work. For the first task, she carefully replanted damaged corals, using gentle hands and soft words to encourage their recovery. For the second, she guided the baby sea turtles by swimming alongside them, ensuring they followed the right path through the currents. The final task was the most challenging. As she stood on a cliff overlooking the vast ocean, Nia sang with all her heart, her voice rising and falling like the waves. She sang of love, courage, and the deep bond between the sea and the land. Her song resonated with the very essence of the ocean, soothing its restlessness. The Sea Queen watched in admiration as the waters calmed and the ocean's beauty was restored. With a nod of approval, she presented Nia with the Starfish Crown, which sparkled with the light of countless stars. "You have proven your heart's worth, Nia," the Sea Queen said. "The Starfish Crown is yours. Use it wisely." Nia thanked the Sea Queen and returned to her village with the crown. As she held it up and made her wish, a soft glow enveloped the village. Fields flourished, fish swam abundantly in the nearby waters, and the villagers found joy and prosperity in their lives. Nia's courage and selflessness had brought the magic of the Starfish Crown to her people, and the village thrived like never before. From then on, Nia was celebrated not just as a brave adventurer but as a symbol of hope and kindness. And so, in a kingdom where the sea met the land, the story of Nia and the Starfish Crown became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that the truest magic lies in a heart that seeks to help others. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky touched the earth and the stars were as close as the morning dew, there was a small village known for its incredible beauty. This village was famous not for its grand structures or riches, but for its breathtaking night skies, which seemed to be painted by an artist's brush. The artist was a humble young girl named Arya. Arya was no ordinary painter, she was the star painter, and each night, she would climb to the top of the tallest hill with her magical paintbrush and a pot of shimmering stardust. With each stroke, she transformed the dark canvas of the night into a mesmerizing display of constellations and celestial wonders. One evening, as Arya prepared her paints for the night, she noticed a peculiar sight. A lone star, unlike any she had ever seen, flickered in the sky, struggling to shine through the dark clouds. This star was not just faint but seemed to be fading away. Determined to help, Arya climbed the hill and started painting around the star, hoping to give it the strength to shine brightly again. As she worked, the star's light grew stronger, but it wasn't enough to restore it fully. That night, as Arya finished her painting, a mysterious figure appeared before her. It was a tall, elegant woman dressed in a gown made of moonlight and stardust. Her eyes sparkled with a knowing glint. "Greetings, Arya," the woman said in a voice that was both gentle and powerful. "I am Lyra, the Queen of the Midnight Kingdom. You have shown great kindness to one of my stars, and for that, I am grateful." Arya was astonished. "The Midnight Kingdom? I've only heard stories. How can I help your star?" Lyra smiled. "The star you helped is a prince in our realm, and he has been in peril. He needs a special kind of magic to restore his brilliance. Only someone with a heart full of compassion can retrieve it. I believe that person is you." Lyra waved her hand, and a shimmering path of stardust appeared, leading up into the sky. "Follow this path, and you will find the Midnight Kingdom. There, you will find the magic you need." Without hesitation, Arya took a deep breath and stepped onto the stardust path. She soared through the sky, surrounded by twinkling stars and the soft hum of celestial music. The path led her to a magnificent realm of glowing palaces and crystal-clear lakes, all bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the heart of the Midnight Kingdom stood a grand palace with spires that reached for the heavens. Inside, Arya was greeted by Lyra and the celestial court. At the center of the palace was the ailing star prince, his light weak and flickering. Lyra explained, "The magic to heal him lies within the radiant flower, which blooms only under the light of the first dawn after a full moon. It grows in the enchanted grove, guarded by the Nightshade Guardian. You must retrieve it before the moon wanes." Arya set out on her quest, guided by the soft glow of the moon. The enchanted grove was a place of wonder, with trees that whispered secrets and flowers that sang lullabies. At its heart stood the radiant flower, glowing with an inner light. But guarding it was the Nightshade Guardian, a majestic creature with wings that sparkled like the night sky. With courage and respect, Arya approached the Guardian. "I seek the radiant flower to save the Star Prince. I promise to return it once my task is done." The Nightshade Guardian looked at Arya with wise eyes and saw the sincerity in her heart. "Your kindness and bravery are clear. The flower is yours to take." Arya carefully picked the flower, and with it, she returned to the Midnight Kingdom. The radiant flower's light was pure and strong, and as Arya placed it near the Star Prince, its magic began to weave through his fading light. Slowly but surely, the Star Prince's brilliance was restored. The kingdom rejoiced as the Star Prince regained his full splendor. Lyra and the Celestial Court celebrated Arya's bravery and kindness. "You have saved our prince and brought back the light to our realm," Lyra said. "As a token of our gratitude, we grant you a special gift." Lyra touched Arya's forehead, and in that moment, a constellation in the shape of a paintbrush appeared in the sky. Whenever you wish to paint the night sky, simply look at this constellation, and it will guide your hand with the magic of the Midnight Kingdom. With a heart full of joy and new knowledge, Arya returned to her village. From that night on, her paintings of the night sky were more beautiful than ever, guided by the magic of the Midnight Kingdom. The village continued to marvel at the wondrous skies, and Arya became known not only as a gifted artist but as a heroine who bridged the worlds of stars and dreams. And so, under the magical guidance of the Midnight Kingdom, Arya painted the nights with wonder and hope, ensuring that every star shone bright and every dream reached the sky. The princess and the stonecutter. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and flowing rivers, there was a kind and just king who ruled with wisdom and grace. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isla, who was loved by all for her gentle heart and adventurous spirit. Despite her royal duties, Isla often slipped away from the castle to explore the forests, mountains, and villages of the kingdom. She loved nothing more than to learn about the lives of her people and to help them in any way she could. One day, while exploring a remote village at the foot of the mountains, Princess Isla came across a young stonecutter named Rowan. He was strong and skilled, known throughout the village for his ability to shape even the hardest stone into works of art. But despite his talent, Rowan was humble and lived a simple life, working from dawn until dusk to support his family. As Isla watched Rowan work, she noticed something peculiar. Every time Rowan struck his chisel against the stone, a small spark of light would flash, as if the stone itself were alive. Intrigued, Isla approached Rowan and asked him about his craft. Rowan looked up from his work and smiled. "These stones are special, Princess," he said. "They come from the heart of the mountain, where it is said that ancient magic still lingers. When I carve them, I can sometimes feel that magic flowing through my hands." Isla was fascinated. She had heard stories of the ancient magic in the mountains, but she had never seen it for herself. "What do you do with the stones once you've shaped them?" she asked. "I make many things," Rowan replied. "Statues, pillars, and sometimes even jewelry. But the most important thing I carve is the heartstone." "The heartstone?" Isla echoed, curious. "What is that?" Rowan stood up and wiped the sweat from his brow. "The heartstone is a tradition in our village. Every year, I carve a special stone in the shape of a heart and place it at the center of the village square. It is believed that as long as the heartstone remains whole, our village will be protected from harm." Isla was moved by the story. "May I see the heartstone?" she asked. Rowan nodded and led Isla to the village square. In the center of the square stood a large stone heart, polished to a gleaming finish. It radiated a soft, warm light, and Isla could feel the magic within it. The villagers had decorated the square with flowers and ribbons, and children played around the heartstone, laughing and singing. "It's beautiful," Isla said, her voice filled with awe. "You've done a wonderful thing for your village, Rowan." Rowan smiled modestly. "It's not just my work, Princess. The heartstone is a symbol of our unity and strength. As long as we stand together, the stone will remain strong." Isla spent the rest of the day in the village, getting to know the people and learning more about their traditions. She was so impressed by the stonecutter's skill and the villagers' sense of community that she decided to return to the castle and tell her father about what she had seen. That evening, as Isla dined with her father, she told him all about Rowan and the heartstone. The king listened intently, and when Isla had finished, he nodded thoughtfully. "It is clear that the young stonecutter has great talent," the king said. "But more importantly, he understands the value of unity and hard work. I would like to meet him." The next day, the king and Princess Isla traveled to the village to meet Rowan. The king was impressed by Rowan's humility and skill, and after hearing about the heartstone, he made a decision. "Rowan," the king said, "would like to commission you to create a heartstone for the entire kingdom. It will be placed in the grand square of the capital, where it will symbolize the unity and strength of all our people." Rowan was honored by the request but also overwhelmed. "Your Majesty, it would be a great honor, but the magic in the stones from our village is special. I'm not sure if it will work in the capital." The king smiled kindly. "I believe the magic lies not just in the stone, but in the hands and heart of the one who shapes it. You have the talent, and with your skill, I have no doubt that you can create a heartstone worthy of the entire kingdom." Encouraged by the king's words, Rowan agreed to take on the task. He worked tirelessly for weeks, selecting the finest stones from the mountains and carefully carving them into the shape of a heart. As he worked, he could feel the magic flowing through his hands, just as it had before, but this time it was even stronger. It was as if the hopes and dreams of the entire kingdom were being infused into the stone. When the Heartstone was finally complete, it was even more magnificent than the one in the village. It shone with a bright, pure light, and when Rowan touched it, he felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The king and Princess Isla were overjoyed and they saw the finished Heartstone. It was placed in the grand square of the capital, where people from all corners of the kingdom came to see it. The Heartstone became a symbol of the kingdom's unity, and it was said that as long as it remained whole, the kingdom would be safe from any harm. Rowan was hailed as a hero, but he remained humble, always reminding people that the true magic came from their unity and strength. Princess Isla and Rowan became close friends, and she often visited him in his village to see how he was doing and to learn more about his craft. As the years passed, the kingdom prospered, and the Heartstone remained a shining symbol of peace and unity. And though the people celebrated Rowan for his great work, he always insisted that it was the love and support of his fellow villagers, and the encouragement of a kind princess, that had made the magic possible. And so, the kingdom lived on in peace and harmony, protected by the magic of the Heartstone and the unity of its people. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, nestled between towering mountains and a sparkling river, there was a quiet village named Windmarsh. This village was known for its lush fields and peaceful surroundings, but just beyond its borders lay the Forest of Whispers, a mysterious place no one dared to enter. The villagers believed the forest was enchanted, filled with voices of ancient spirits that lured travelers in, never to return. In Windmarsh lived a young boy named Finn. Unlike the others, Finn wasn't afraid of the forest. In fact, he was drawn to its mysterious allure. Every day, he would sit by the edge of the village, listening to the soft, whispering winds that seemed to float from the forest's depths. His mother warned him never to go near it, but Finn's curiosity grew with each passing day. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, a strange sight caught Finn's attention. A shimmering light, like a floating firefly, appeared just inside the forest's edge. The light twinkled and danced, almost as if beckoning him to follow. Finn, unable to resist, stood up and ventured cautiously toward it. As soon as he stepped into the forest, the whispers became louder. They weren't threatening, but soft, like voices from a dream. The light floated deeper into the forest, and Finn followed, weaving through ancient trees and over soft moss-covered ground. Every now and then, he heard gentle laughter, as if the trees themselves were speaking. After what felt like hours, Finn reached a beautiful clearing. In the center stood a magnificent oak tree, larger than any tree he had ever seen, its branches stretching wide like the arms of a giant. At the base of the tree sat a young girl, no older than Finn, with hair that shimmered like moonlight and eyes that gleamed like emeralds. "Welcome, Finn," the girl said with a warm smile, as if she had been waiting for him. "I've been hoping you would come." Finn was startled. "How do you know my name? Who are you?" "I am Nella, the guardian of the Forest of Whispers," she replied, standing gracefully. "The forest speaks to me, and through me, it speaks to those who have the courage to listen." Finn's eyes widened. "Why does the forest whisper? What does it want?" Nella motioned for him to sit beside her at the base of the great oak. "The forest whispers because it is alive with the memories of those who have come before. Long ago, this land was full of magic, and the people here were connected to the forest. They could hear its stories, feel its power. But as time passed, people began to forget the old ways. They grew afraid of what they didn't understand, and the forest became a place of mystery and fear." She looked at Finn with a gentle expression. "But you are different, Finn. You have the heart to understand the forest's whispers. That's why it called you here." Finn felt a strange warmth in his chest. "But why me? I'm just a boy." "Because you still believe in wonder," Nella said softly. "And the forest is full of wonders. But it is also in danger. Its magic is fading, and if it disappears, so will the forest. The whispers will become silent, and the connection to the past will be lost forever." Finn's heart sank. "How can I help?" What can I do? Nella stood and extended her hand. There is a well deep within the heart of the forest, the well of memories. It holds the essence of the forest's magic. But it has been sealed for many years. Only someone with a pure heart and a mind full of curiosity can unlock it. You must find the well and restore its magic, or the forest will fade. Without hesitation, Finn took Nella's hand. Together, they ventured deeper into the forest, the whispers growing louder and more urgent as they went. The trees seemed to part before them, guiding their way with rustling leaves and soft winds. After what felt like hours, they arrived at a glimmering pool surrounded by ancient stones. In the center of the pool stood the well of memories, its surface glowing faintly, as if it were waiting to be awakened. Nella turned to Finn. To unlock the well, you must share a memory, one that is precious to you. The well feeds on the magic of memories, and only a true one can bring it back to life. Finn thought for a moment. His mind raced through all the memories he had, of his mother's laughter, the village festivals, the stories his father used to tell him. But then, he remembered something even more precious, the feeling he had whenever he listened to the forest. The sense of wonder, the belief that there was something more out there. With a deep breath, Finn knelt by the well and closed his eyes. He thought of all the times he had sat by the forest's edge, listening to the whispers, dreaming of adventure. He let that memory fill his heart and then whispered it into the well. For a moment, there was silence. But then, the water in the well began to shimmer and glow brighter, casting a soft light over the clearing. The forest around them seemed to sigh in relief. And the whispers became stronger, clearer, as if the forest had been rejuvenated. Nella smiled, her eyes shining with gratitude. You've done it, Finn. You've restored the forest's magic. The whispers will continue, and the connection to the past will live on. Finn stood up, feeling a strange sense of accomplishment and peace. Will the forest always be here? As long as there are those who believe in its magic, Nella replied. And thanks to you, the forest will whisper its secrets for generations to come. As the sun began to rise, casting golden light through the trees, Finn knew it was time to return home. Nella waved goodbye, her figure fading into the morning mist as the forest seemed to swallow her whole. When Finn returned to the village, no one believed him at first when he told them about his adventure. But from that day on, he always knew the truth. The Forest of Whispers was no longer just a place of mystery and fear, it was a place of magic, where memories lived and whispered for those willing to listen. And so, the whispers of the forest continued, carrying the secrets of the past into the hearts of all who dared to dream. And Finn? He grew up to be the greatest storyteller in the village, sharing the tales of the Forest of Whispers with anyone who would listen. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a charming coastal village known for its colorful boats and bustling markets, lived a young sailor named Finn. Finn was an adventurous soul with a heart full of dreams. He longed to explore the world beyond the horizon, but despite his many journeys, he had yet to find the legendary Hidden Isle, a place said to be filled with wonders and treasures. One day, while cleaning the attic of his family's cottage, Finn stumbled upon an old, dust-covered chest. Inside was an ornate compass, its face adorned with intricate carvings of stars and seashells. It was unlike any compass he had ever seen. Beside it lay a note, written in elegant script. Follow the compass through moonlit seas. To the hidden isle where dreams take flight. 3 tasks await, so sail with ease. And find the path that shines at night. Excited by the discovery, Finn decided to set sail under the light of the next full moon. As night fell, he prepared his ship, the Sea Whisperer, and set out, holding the enchanted compass tightly. The first task, the whispering waves. The compass guided Finn through the moonlit waters, and soon he reached a mysterious part of the ocean where the waves whispered secrets. The compass began to spin wildly, and Finn heard a gentle voice on the wind. To find your way through these whispering waves, listen to the song of the sea. The melody will guide the path, and lead you to where you need to be. Following the instructions, Finn closed his eyes and listened carefully. He heard a soft, melodic tune carried by the waves. The music was faint but clear, guiding him to steer his ship towards a hidden passage. As Finn followed the melody, the waves parted to reveal a glowing, underwater path leading him to the next challenge. The second task, the Lighthouse of Stars. The path led Finn to a vast, sparkling lagoon where a lighthouse stood tall on a small island. The lighthouse was adorned with glowing star-shaped crystals, casting shimmering reflections across the water. At the base of the lighthouse, a kindly old sea turtle awaited him. The turtle explained, "To reach the hidden isle, you must light the beacon of stars. Use this lantern and gather stardust from the crystals around the lighthouse." Finn carefully collected the stardust and placed it into the lantern. As he lit the beacon of stars, the lighthouse began to shine brightly, and the star-shaped crystals glowed even more brilliantly. The light revealed a hidden passage through the lagoon that would lead Finn closer to his goal. The third task, the Enchanted Island. Following the light of the beacon, Finn arrived at the Enchanted Island, a lush paradise surrounded by sparkling waters and vibrant flowers. In the heart of the island stood a grand, ancient tree with a door at its base. As Finn approached the tree, the door creaked open to reveal a beautiful garden filled with glowing fruit and fluttering fairies. The fairies welcomed Finn and led him to a magical fountain in the center of the garden. The fountain was surrounded by 3 golden orbs, each representing a different quality: courage, wisdom, and kindness. To unlock the final secret, Finn needed to place a token of each quality into the fountain. Finn took a moment to reflect on his journey. He thought of his bravery in navigating the whispering waves, his wisdom in lighting the beacon of stars, and his kindness in helping others along the way. He gathered small tokens: an old sailor's medal for courage, a glowing star from the lighthouse for wisdom, and a delicate flower from the enchanted garden for kindness. As Finn placed the tokens into the fountain, it began to sparkle and bubble with radiant light. The center of the garden shifted, revealing a hidden pathway leading to a magnificent treasure chest. Inside the chest, Finn found not gold or jewels, but a beautiful, ancient map of the world. The map was enchanted, with shimmering paths that led to places of wonder and adventure. At the center of the map was the hidden isle, marked with a radiant star. The fairies congratulated Finn and gifted him a small, magical crystal. "This crystal will allow you to return to the hidden isle whenever you wish," they said. With a heart full of joy and a new sense of purpose, Finn set sail back to his village. He knew that the map would lead him to countless new adventures and that the hidden isle was just the beginning. Upon his return, Finn shared his incredible journey with the villagers, inspiring them with tales of the whispering waves, the beacon of stars, and the enchanted island. The village celebrated his bravery and the magic of the hidden isle, and Finn's tales of adventure became a cherished part of village lore. From that day on, Finn continued to explore the world with the enchanted map and crystal, discovering new wonders and sharing the magic he had found. The legend of Finn and the hidden isle lived on, a reminder of the rewards that await those who embark on adventures with courage, wisdom, and kindness. And so, Finn's story became a beloved tale, inspiring others to follow their dreams and seek out the hidden wonders of the world. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled by the edge of an ancient and magical forest, lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and her love for the forest, where she often went to gather herbs and flowers. Her favorite time to visit the forest was at twilight when the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle. One evening, as Elara wandered deeper into the forest than ever before, she stumbled upon a hidden glade bathed in a soft, silvery light. At the center of the glade was a single, glowing flower unlike any she had ever seen. The flower's petals were as white as moonlight and seemed to shimmer with a magical glow. Elara approached the flower with awe. As she reached out to touch it, a soft, melodious voice spoke from behind her. "You have found the moonflower," the voice said. Elara turned to see a graceful figure emerging from the shadows, a fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Lyra, the guardian of the moonflower," the fairy continued. "This flower is a symbol of our realm's magic and is said to hold the power to grant a single wish. But it is also under a powerful enchantment that can only be broken by someone with a pure heart." Elara, curious and excited, asked, What is the wish that the Moonflower can grant? Lyra's eyes were filled with sadness as she replied, the Moonflower can restore the balance of magic in our realm. Recently, a dark spell has caused our land to lose its magic, and we are in desperate need of help. The spell was cast by an evil sorcerer who wanted to harness the Moonflower's power for his own dark purposes. To restore the balance, someone must embark on a quest to find 3 magical relics hidden throughout the forest. Only then can the Moonflower's enchantment be lifted. Determined to help, Elara agreed to take on the quest. Lyra handed her a small, enchanted compass that would guide her to the relics. This compass will show you the way, Lyra said. But remember, the path will not be easy. And you must rely on your courage and kindness to succeed. Elara set off into the forest, her heart filled with hope and determination. The compass led her through dense woods and over sparkling streams. Her first destination was the glimmering lake, where the first relic, the Star of Clarity, was said to be hidden. When Elara arrived at the lake, she saw a beautiful, star-shaped gemstone lying at the bottom. But as she reached for it, a gentle, but firm, voice stopped her. To claim the Star of Clarity, you must answer a riddle, said a wise old turtle that surfaced from the water. Elara listened carefully as the turtle asked, I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? Elara thought for a moment and then answered, a map. The turtle nodded and allowed Elara to take the Star of Clarity. With the first relic in hand, Elara continued her journey, guided by the compass. Her next destination was the Whispering Woods, where the second relic, the Heartstone, was hidden. In the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and stories from ages past. Elara followed the whispers until she found a small, glowing stone nestled among the roots of an ancient oak tree. As she reached for it, a gentle breeze spoke, to claim the Heartstone, you must show empathy and kindness. Elara noticed a small, injured bird nearby. Without hesitation, she gently picked up the bird and tended to its wounds. The Heartstone began to glow brightly, and the breeze guided her to take it. With 2 relics secured, Elara's final destination was the Echoing Cavern, where the last relic, the Moonlight Crown, was hidden. The cavern was filled with shimmering crystals that reflected light in mesmerizing patterns. As Elara ventured deeper into the cavern, she encountered a large, fierce-looking dragon. Despite its intimidating appearance, the dragon's eyes held a glimmer of sadness. Elara approached the dragon and spoke kindly. I am here to find the Moonlight Crown. I don't wish to cause harm, only to restore balance. The dragon, touched by Elara's bravery and compassion, revealed that the Moonlight Crown was hidden in a crystal chamber. The crown can only be retrieved by someone who can face their fears, the dragon said. Elara took a deep breath and entered the chamber. Inside, she saw her greatest fear, a vision of her village in despair and darkness. Despite her fear, Elara stepped forward, determined to save her home. The vision faded, and the Moonlight Crown appeared on a pedestal. Elara took the crown and returned to the Moonflower's glade. With all 3 relics in hand, she placed them in a special arrangement around the Moonflower. As she did, the flower's glow grew brighter, and a wave of magical energy spread through the forest. The enchantment was lifted, and the land was filled with vibrant colors and renewed magic. The forest creatures rejoiced, and Lyra, the fairy guardian, appeared to thank Elara. You have restored our realm's magic and shown incredible courage and kindness, Lyra said. The Moonflower's enchantment is now lifted, and our land is safe once more. As a token of our gratitude, we wish to offer you a gift. Lyra handed Elara a small, magical locket. This locket will allow you to visit our realm whenever you wish and will remind you of the bravery you showed. Elara returned to her village, where she was greeted with joy and celebration. Her kindness and bravery had saved the Hidden Kingdom, and her village thrived once more. The enchanted forest remained a place of wonder, and Elara's story became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that lies within their hearts. And so, Elara lived happily ever after, knowing that her journey had not only saved a magical realm but had also brought light and hope to her own world. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his love for exploring the forest that bordered the village. He often ventured into the forest, discovering hidden paths and secret clearings. One crisp autumn morning, while wandering deeper into the forest than ever before, Finn stumbled upon a mysterious grove. The grove was unlike anything he had seen: trees with silver leaves, flowers that glowed softly, and a gentle mist that curled around his feet. At the center of the grove was an ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk, and beside it, a small, intricately carved wooden box. Intrigued, Finn approached the box and noticed a golden key lying on top of it. The key was adorned with delicate patterns and glimmered in the dappled sunlight. Beside the box was a note that read, "The golden key unlocks the path to the secret realm. But beware, only the pure-hearted may enter." Curious and excited, Finn took the key and opened the box. Inside was a map marked with a trail leading to a hidden destination. The map depicted a path through the enchanted forest, over a crystal-clear river, and towards the base of a towering mountain. Finn decided to follow the map, eager to uncover the secret of the grove. As Finn journeyed along the marked path, he encountered various challenges. The first challenge was the Whispering Stream. The stream's waters were crystal clear, but the whispers of the stream were said to confuse travelers. The whispers spoke of fears and doubts, trying to dissuade Finn from continuing. Finn took a deep breath and remembered the advice his grandmother had given him: trust in yourself and listen to your heart. Focusing on his inner strength, Finn ignored the whispers and crossed the stream by stepping on the stepping stones that shimmered with a magical glow. On the other side of the stream, Finn found a vibrant meadow with flowers that sang in the breeze. The flowers seemed to be guiding him towards a dense thicket. He followed their melody and discovered the entrance to a hidden cave. Inside the cave, he found a large, ancient door adorned with mystical runes. Finn took out the golden key and inserted it into the lock. The door creaked open, revealing a magnificent chamber filled with golden light. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with a glowing crystal orb. The orb radiated warmth and seemed to pulse with life. As Finn approached the orb, he noticed a figure materializing before him, a wise old man with a long, flowing beard and a robe that shimmered like stardust. "Welcome, Finn," the old man said in a voice that resonated like a melody. "I am Eldrick, the guardian of the secret realm. You have proven your bravery and kindness by navigating the challenges of the enchanted forest. The crystal orb you see before you is the heart of the realm. It holds the power to bring balance and harmony to our world." Eldrick continued, "The secret realm is a place of great magic, but it is also in need of help. An ancient curse has caused the heart of the realm to lose its light, and the balance of magic is threatened. Only someone with a pure heart can restore its power." Finn felt a surge of determination. "How can I help?" he asked. Eldrick handed Finn a small vial filled with stardust. This stardust can be used to reignite the heart of the realm. However, the process is not simple. You must perform a ritual under the light of the full moon and speak the words of restoration. The full moon will rise tonight. Finn thanked Eldrick and left the chamber, carrying the vial of stardust with him. He found a serene spot in the heart of the secret realm, a place surrounded by ancient trees and bathed in moonlight. As the moon reached its zenith, Finn carefully opened the vial and poured the stardust onto the heart of the realm. He spoke the words of restoration that Eldrick had taught him: "By moonlight's grace and stardust's gleam, restore the heart, fulfill the dream. Let balance reign and magic thrive. In this realm, let all things live." The crystal orb began to glow with a brilliant light, spreading warmth and energy throughout the secret realm. The ancient curse was lifted, and the realm was filled with vibrant colors and renewed magic. The trees sparkled with enchantment, the flowers sang joyfully, and the creatures of the realm rejoiced. Eldrick appeared once more, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You have done it, Finn. You have restored the heart of the realm and brought balance back to our world. As a token of our thanks, we wish to grant you a special gift. Eldrick handed Finn a small, golden locket. This locket holds a piece of the realm's magic. Whenever you wear it, you will be able to visit the secret realm and share in its wonders. Finn thanked Eldrick and returned to his village, where he was greeted with admiration and wonder. His adventure had not only restored the magic of the secret realm but had also brought a new sense of wonder and joy to his own world. From that day on, Finn often visited the secret realm, exploring its mysteries and sharing its magic with those he loved. The enchanted forest remained a place of wonder, and Finn's bravery and kindness became a cherished story told to children for generations to come. And so, Finn lived happily ever after, knowing that he had played a crucial role in preserving the magic of the secret realm and enriching his own world with the light of adventure and friendship. The end. In a land far beyond the mountains, where the stars touched the earth and the moon bathed the world in silver light, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, nestled deep within an enchanted forest, was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The flowers there were unlike any others, glowing softly with a light of their own, their petals shimmering like precious gems. In the village just outside the forest, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was an orphan, raised by his grandmother, who was known for her knowledge of herbs and healing potions. Although Finn's life was simple, he was always filled with wonder and curiosity, especially about the stories his grandmother told him about the moonlit garden. Every full moon, Finn would climb to the top of the highest hill in the village and gaze at the forest, imagining what wonders might lie within. His grandmother had always warned him not to go searching for the garden, for it was protected by powerful magic. And only those with a pure heart could enter. One night, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Finn felt a strange pull in his heart, as if the forest itself was calling to him. Unable to resist, he quietly left his home and made his way toward the forest. The moonlight guided his steps, and the trees seemed to part before him, as if welcoming him into their depths. As Finn ventured deeper into the forest, he noticed that the air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating scent. He followed the scent until he came upon a clearing bathed in moonlight. There, before his eyes, was the moonlit garden. Finn gasped in awe at the sight. The garden was more beautiful than he had ever imagined. Flowers of every color glowed softly in the moonlight, their petals sparkling like dew-kissed jewels. In the center of the garden stood a large, ancient tree, its branches heavy with silver blossoms that seemed to pulse with life. As Finn approached the tree, he noticed a small, delicate flower growing at its base. The flower was different from the others. It was a soft, pale blue, and it glowed with a gentle light that seemed to call out to him. He knelt down and carefully touched the flower. As he did, the garden around him began to hum with energy, and the moonlight grew brighter. Suddenly, a figure appeared before him, shimmering in the moonlight. It was a woman, her hair as silver as the moon and her eyes like the night sky. She was the guardian of the moonlit garden. "Who are you, young one?" the guardian asked, her voice soft and melodic. "My name is Finn," he replied, his voice trembling with awe. "I was drawn here by the beauty of the garden." The guardian smiled kindly. "You have a pure heart, Finn. That is why the garden allowed you to enter. But this place is more than just a garden, it is a place of healing and magic. Those who enter must do so with good intentions, for the garden will grant them a single wish." Finn's eyes widened in surprise. "A wish?" "Yes," the guardian said. "But choose wisely. For the garden's magic is powerful, and your wish will shape the future." Finn thought for a moment, his mind racing with possibilities. He could wish for wealth, or for power, or even for his parents to return. But then he remembered his grandmother, who had taken care of him all these years, and who had grown frail with age. He knew what his wish must be. "I wish for my grandmother to be healthy and strong again," Finn said, his voice firm. The guardian nodded, her eyes filled with approval. "Your wish is selfless, and it will be granted." With a wave of her hand, the garden erupted into a dazzling display of light. The flowers glowed brighter, their colors swirling together in a kaleidoscope of hues. Finn felt a warmth spread through his chest, and he knew that his wish had been fulfilled. "Return home, Finn," the guardian said, her voice echoing softly in the night air. "Your grandmother will be well, and the garden will always be here, waiting for those who are pure of heart." Finn thanked the guardian and made his way back through the forest. As he walked, the trees closed behind him, leaving no trace of the path he had taken. When he reached his village, the first light of dawn was breaking over the hills. Rushing to his grandmother's house, Finn found her awake and bustling about, her cheeks flushed with health and her eyes bright with energy. She smiled at him, not knowing the gift he had given her, but grateful for the renewed strength she felt. From that day on, Finn never spoke of the moonlit garden, but he kept its memory close to his heart. He continued to care for his grandmother, knowing that the magic of the garden had given them more time together. And so, the moonlit garden remained a secret, its beauty and magic hidden away, waiting for the next pure-hearted soul to find it. Once upon a time, in a verdant valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there was a quaint village named Willowbrook. The village was known for its lush meadows, babbling brooks, and, most notably, a magnificent old willow tree that stood at the edge of the forest. This willow, with its sweeping branches and whispering leaves, was believed to hold ancient magic. The villagers revered the willow, for it was said that it could grant wisdom to those who approached it with a pure heart. But over the years, the tree had become a legend, and many had forgotten the true extent of its magic. In this village lived a brave and curious young girl named Eliza. Eliza was known for her adventurous spirit and kind heart. She had always been fascinated by the stories about the willow and had spent many afternoons playing beneath its branches. But lately, the village had been plagued by a terrible drought. The streams had dried up, the fields had turned brown, and the villagers were worried about their future. Determined to help, Eliza decided to seek out the wisdom of the whispering willow. One bright morning, as the sun cast its golden light over the valley, she made her way to the ancient tree. The willow's leaves rustled softly in the breeze, and its branches swayed gently, creating a soothing melody. As Eliza approached, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. She placed her hand on the tree's rough bark and spoke softly, "Oh, wise whispering willow, our village is suffering from a drought. We need your guidance to bring back the water and restore our land." The willow's branches trembled, and a soft, melodic voice spoke from the tree. "Brave Eliza, the solution to your village's plight lies hidden within the heart of the forest. You must find the crystal spring, a magical source of water that has been concealed for many years. Only with true courage and kindness will you be able to uncover it." Eliza listened intently. "How will I find the crystal spring?" she asked. "The path to the spring is guarded by 3 trials," the willow explained. "Each trial will test your bravery, wisdom, and compassion. Overcome them, and the way to the crystal spring will be revealed." With determination in her heart, Eliza set off into the forest. The trees seemed to part for her, guiding her along the path. The first trial came soon after, a dark, tangled thicket where a fierce-looking guardian, a great bear with glowing eyes, stood blocking her way. Eliza took a deep breath and stepped forward. "I seek the crystal spring to help my village. I mean no harm." The bear's eyes softened, and it spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "To pass this trial, you must show courage. Cross this thicket, and you shall proceed." Eliza carefully navigated the thicket, using her wit and agility to avoid the thorny branches. As she emerged on the other side, the bear nodded in approval, allowing her to continue. The second trial was a vast, still pond surrounded by eerie fog. In the center of the pond was a small island with a riddle inscribed on a stone pedestal. Eliza waded into the water and read the riddle aloud: "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Eliza pondered for a moment and then answered, "A map." The fog lifted, revealing a hidden path leading through the pond to the island. She retrieved a small, glowing key from the pedestal and continued her journey. The final trial was the most challenging, a steep, rocky climb to a cavern where a gentle voice beckoned her. Inside the cavern, Eliza found a golden chest, but it was locked. The key she had found was the only way to open it. As she unlocked the chest, she discovered a beautiful, crystal-clear vial filled with sparkling water. The vial shimmered with a soft, celestial light. Returning to Willowbrook, Eliza hurried to the village. The villagers gathered around, their faces full of hope. Eliza poured the water from the vial into the dried-up riverbed, and immediately, the ground began to tremble. Water gushed forth, filling the streams and revitalizing the land. The fields turned green again, and the villagers cheered with joy. The Whispering Willow's magic had restored the village, and Eliza's bravery and compassion had brought relief to her people. From that day on, the village of Willowbrook thrived once more, and the legend of the Whispering Willow was renewed with a new tale of courage and kindness. Eliza continued to explore and help others, always guided by the wisdom she had gained from her adventure. The Whispering Willow remained a beloved part of Willowbrook, its branches ever whispering tales of magic and wonder. And so, under the rejuvenated sky and the lush, green landscape, Willowbrook lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the brave girl who restored their land with a touch of magic and a heart full of courage. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang through the valleys, there was a peaceful village called Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its breathtaking beauty and its people's harmony with nature. But the village held a secret. Deep within the enchanted forest that bordered their land lived a dragon named Eldrick. Unlike most dragons who were feared for their fire and strength, Eldrick was known for his musical talent. He was a dragon of unique gifts, whose scales shimmered like rainbows and whose breath could create melodies that danced on the wind. Yet, despite his gentle nature, Eldrick was shunned by the villagers because of his fearsome appearance. One day, a terrible drought struck Eldoria. The rivers dried up, the fields withered, and the once lush forests turned brittle. The villagers tried everything to bring rain, but their efforts were in vain. Desperate, the village elder, a wise woman named Alara, called a meeting. "We must seek out Eldrick," Alara said. "He is our only hope." The villagers were hesitant, but they knew there was no other choice. A brave young girl named Lila, known for her curiosity and kind heart, volunteered to venture into the enchanted forest. Armed with nothing but her courage and a small pouch of enchanted seeds from Alara, Lila set off at dawn. The enchanted forest was a place of wonder, with trees that whispered secrets and flowers that glowed in the dark. As Lila ventured deeper, she found herself surrounded by the mysterious beauty of the forest. After hours of walking, she reached a hidden glade where Eldrick lived. The dragon was resting by a crystal-clear pool, his scales shimmering under the dappled sunlight. Lila approached cautiously, her heart pounding. Eldrick looked up, his golden eyes reflecting both curiosity and sadness. "Greetings, Eldrick," Lila said with a bow. "I am Lila from Eldoria. Our village is suffering from a terrible drought, and we believe you may be able to help us." Eldrick sighed, his breath creating a soft, melancholic tune. "I wish I could help, but the villagers fear me. They have never understood the magic of my music. I can only create melodies, not miracles." Lila's heart went out to Eldrick. "Perhaps your music is the very magic we need. If we can bring the villagers to understand your gift, they might see how important you are to us." Eldrick hesitated but agreed to help. "Very well, Lila. If you can gather the enchanted seeds from the forest and convince the villagers to listen to my music, I will do my best to aid your village." Lila returned to Eldoria with the enchanted seeds and told the villagers about her encounter with Eldrick. She explained how the dragon's music could bring life and magic. Reluctantly, the villagers agreed to give Eldrick a chance, following Lila back to the enchanted forest. When they arrived at the hidden glade, Eldrick greeted them with a warm, inviting smile. He began to play his melody, his powerful voice and the notes of his scales creating a symphony that filled the air. The music was unlike anything the villagers had ever heard, soothing, enchanting, and full of a deep, ancient magic. As the melody flowed, something extraordinary happened. The once dry riverbeds began to glisten with fresh water. The withered plants and flowers started to bloom, their colors vibrant and alive. The forest seemed to awaken, its magic responding to Eldrick's song. The villagers watched in awe, their fear and prejudice melting away as they witnessed the dragon's true gift. Eldric's music continued, weaving through the air like a living thread of enchantment, and soon, the entire land of Eldoria was revived. The rivers ran full and clear, the fields flourished, and the forests were lush once more. As the last note of Eldric's melody faded, the villagers erupted in cheers, their hearts full of gratitude and wonder. They approached Eldric with apologies and offers of friendship, their eyes filled with newfound respect. "We were wrong to fear you," the village elder said. "Your music has saved us." "Thank you, Eldric." Eldric's eyes shone with tears of joy. "It was Lila who saw the truth of my gift. She believed in me when no one else did." From that day on, Eldric was celebrated as a hero in Eldoria. The villagers learned to appreciate the beauty of his music and the magic it brought. They no longer saw him as a fearsome dragon but as a cherished member of their community. And Lila, with her brave heart and kind spirit, became known as the dragon's friend, a symbol of understanding and harmony between all creatures. Eldoria thrived under the care of its newfound guardian, and the enchanted forest became a place of joy and celebration, where the music of Eldric and the laughter of the villagers danced together under the stars. And so, the dragon's melody lived on, a reminder that true magic lies not in appearances but in the harmony of hearts. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by towering mountains and lush forests, there was a village called Willowbrook. Willowbrook was known for its enchanting beauty and its guardian, a magical tree known as the Whispering Tree. This ancient tree was said to hold the secrets of the land and to grant wishes to those who approached it with a pure heart. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara loved exploring the forests and meadows around Willowbrook, always dreaming of discovering something extraordinary. One day, while wandering near the Whispering Tree, she overheard an old tale told by a group of villagers. The tale spoke of a hidden valley beyond the mountains, a place where the Whispering Tree's magic originated. It was said that this hidden valley contained a treasure that could bring joy and prosperity to the kingdom. However, the path to the valley was fraught with challenges. Intrigued by the story and motivated by her desire to help her village, which had recently faced a harsh drought, Elara decided to embark on a quest to find the hidden valley and uncover its secrets. She packed a small satchel with essentials, food, water, a map, and a lantern, and set out early one morning, determined to succeed where others had failed. Elara's journey was long and demanding. She trekked through dense forests, crossed bubbling streams, and climbed rugged hills. Along the way, she encountered various magical creatures who offered her guidance and advice. A wise old owl advised her to follow her intuition, a playful squirrel warned her of hidden traps, and a gentle deer guided her through the dense undergrowth. After several days of travel, Elara reached the base of the mountains. The path to the hidden valley was concealed by a thick mist and a series of ancient stone gates. Each gate was adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to tell a story. As Elara approached the first gate, a golden inscription appeared: "To pass through, you must solve the riddle of the heart." Elara pondered the riddle and realized it was a test of her sincerity. She needed to answer truthfully about what she desired most. After a moment of reflection, she spoke aloud, "I wish to help my village and bring prosperity to those in need." The gate creaked open, and Elara stepped through, finding herself in a breathtaking landscape with shimmering lakes and fields of golden flowers. The second gate stood before her, guarded by a mystical fox. The fox spoke in riddles and posed a challenge: "In the morning, I am gray. At noon, I am white. In the evening, I am golden. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "The sky." Pleased with her answer, the fox allowed her to pass through the second gate. Beyond the second gate was a magnificent valley, bathed in a soft, magical light. The valley was home to the Whispering Tree, a towering, ancient tree with leaves that shimmered like diamonds. As Elara approached the tree, she noticed a crystal-clear pool at its base. The tree's branches seemed to sway as if whispering secrets. The Whispering Tree spoke to Elara in a gentle, soothing voice. "To access the treasure of the valley, you must prove your courage and kindness. The treasure lies within the heart of the valley, but it is protected by a magical barrier. Only those who are pure of heart can break through. Elara nodded and ventured deeper into the valley. The path was lined with glowing flowers and delicate butterflies. As she walked, she encountered a series of trials designed to test her qualities. The first trial was a test of courage. Elara had to cross a rickety bridge over a chasm, which seemed daunting but not impossible. She took a deep breath and carefully made her way across, her courage guiding her steps. The second trial was a test of kindness. Elara came upon a group of forest creatures trapped in a net. Using her knowledge and compassion, she freed them and tended to their wounds. The creatures, grateful for her help, offered her guidance and a magical charm to aid her in her quest. The final trial was a test of wisdom. Elara faced a puzzle made of ancient symbols. With the help of the magical charm and the guidance of the creatures she had aided, she solved the puzzle, revealing the way to the heart of the valley. At last, Elara reached the center of the valley, where a radiant chest sat atop a pedestal. She approached the chest and gently opened it. Inside, she found a glowing orb that radiated warmth and light. The orb was the source of the valley's magic, capable of bringing joy and prosperity. As Elara held the orb, she felt a wave of warmth and love envelop her. The whispering tree's voice echoed in her mind, "You have shown great courage, kindness, and wisdom. The treasure is yours to bring back to your village." Elara made her way back to Willowbrook with the orb. Upon her return, the village celebrated her bravery and the magical orb's arrival. The orb's magic restored the land, bringing bountiful harvests and abundant joy to the people. Elara's adventure became a beloved tale in Willowbrook. A story of a young girl who ventured into the unknown to bring hope and prosperity to her village. The whispering tree continued to stand as a guardian of the valley, and the hidden treasures of Eloria were cherished by all who heard the story. And so, the kingdom thrived, and Elara's courage and kindness were remembered for generations to come. The valley remained a symbol of the magic that resides in every heart and the power of selfless acts. The end. In a small village nestled in a valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila had a gift that no one in the village could match. She could play the violin so beautifully that it could make the flowers bloom and the birds sing. Her music brought joy to everyone who heard it, and whenever she played in the village square, people would stop whatever they were doing just to listen. But Lila's talent was more than just skill, it was magic. Her violin was no ordinary instrument, it was enchanted. It had been passed down through generations in her family, and it was said to hold the power of the forest spirits. When Lila played, the music could weave spells, change the weather, and even heal the sick. One day, as Lila played her violin by the riverbank, an old woman appeared from the shadows of the trees. She was bent with age, her hair as white as snow, and she carried a staff adorned with strange symbols. The old woman listened to Lila's music with a smile, her eyes sparkling with wisdom. "You have a rare gift, my child," the old woman said when Lila finished her song. "Your music can bring great joy, but it can also bring great sorrow if used unwisely." Lila was curious about the old woman's words. "Who are you?" she asked. "And what do you mean?" "I am the guardian of the enchanted violin," the old woman replied. "Long ago, I was given the task of watching over it and ensuring that it was used only for good. But now, I am old, and my time is coming to an end. I have been searching for someone worthy to take my place, and I believe you are that person." Lila was shocked. "Me? But I'm just a girl from the village. How can I be a guardian?" "You have a pure heart, Lila, and that is what matters most," the old woman said gently. "But be warned, there are those who would seek to use the violin's power for their own gain. You must protect it and use it only to help others." Lila nodded, though she still felt uncertain. The old woman smiled and placed her hand on Lila's head. "You will know what to do when the time comes," she said. Then, with a wave of her staff, she vanished, leaving Lila alone by the river. The days passed, and Lila continued to play her violin, but now she was more aware of its power. She played to bring rain to the fields during a drought, to calm a storm that threatened the village, and to heal a sick child. The villagers were amazed by her abilities, but Lila never spoke of the old woman or the warning she had given. One day, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a tall, handsome man with piercing blue eyes and a cloak of deep green. He introduced himself as Lord Alaric and claimed to be a nobleman from a distant kingdom. He had heard of Lila's talent and had come to hear her play. Lila played her violin for Lord Alaric, and he was captivated by her music. "Your talent is extraordinary," he said when she finished. "Such a gift should be shared with the world. I can offer you a place in my court, where you will be honored and revered. You will want for nothing." Lila was tempted by his offer, but something about Lord Alaric made her uneasy. She remembered the old woman's warning and hesitated. "I appreciate your offer, my lord, but I am happy here in my village," she said. Lord Alaric's smile faded, and his eyes grew cold. "You are wasting your potential here, playing for peasants. Come with me, and you will have riches and fame beyond your wildest dreams." But Lila shook her head. "I play to bring joy to others, not for riches or fame." Lord Alaric's expression darkened, and Lila realized too late that he was not who he seemed. "Foolish girl," he hissed. "Do you think I care about your village? I want the power of that violin, and I will have it." Before Lila could react, Lord Alaric lunged at her, trying to seize the violin. But as his hand touched the instrument, a brilliant light burst forth, blinding him. Lila felt the violin pulse with energy, and a protective barrier formed around her. The light faded, and Lord Alaric staggered back, clutching his eyes. "This isn't over," he snarled before disappearing into the forest. Lila was shaken, but she knew now that the old woman had been right. There were those who would seek to use the violin for evil. She couldn't stay in the village any longer. She had to protect the violin from those who would try to steal its power. That night, Lila packed her belongings and left the village, heading into the mountains. She traveled for many days, guided by the music of the violin, which seemed to know the way. Finally, she reached a hidden valley, surrounded by tall trees and filled with the sound of birdsong. In the center of the valley stood a great tree with golden leaves, its branches stretching high into the sky. Lila knew this was the place she was meant to be. She played a soft, gentle melody on her violin, and as the last note faded, the tree's roots parted, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside the chamber, Lila found a pedestal carved from stone. She placed the violin on the pedestal. And as she did, the chamber filled with light. The violin began to glow, its magic returning to the earth from which it had come. Lila knew that the violin was now safe, protected by the magic of the valley. She had fulfilled her duty as the guardian, and the violin would never again be used for evil. With a heart full of peace, Lila left the valley, knowing that the enchanted violin would continue to bring joy to the world, even if it was no longer in her hands. And so, Lila returned to her village, where she continued to play music, not with the enchanted violin, but with a simple one made by her own hands. Her music was still beautiful, still filled with joy, and the villagers loved her all the more for it. As for the enchanted violin, it remained hidden in the valley, waiting for the day when a new guardian would be chosen to protect its magic once more. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, there was a magical realm known for its beautiful birds. Among them was the rare silver feather, a mythical bird said to possess extraordinary powers and grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who could find it. In a small village at the edge of the kingdom, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind and brave, always helping her neighbors with their troubles. Her family was poor, but they were rich in love and kindness. Elara's greatest wish was to improve the lives of those around her and bring prosperity to her struggling village. One day, a severe winter hit the kingdom, bringing with it an unusually harsh frost. The crops failed, and the villagers were growing anxious. Remembering the legend of the silver feather, Elara decided to set out on a quest to find the mythical bird and make a wish that could save her village. The quest begins early one morning. Elara prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a warm cloak, some bread, and a flask of water. Her mother gave her a silver locket for good luck, a family heirloom that had been passed down through generations. With a hopeful heart, Elara ventured into the forest, guided by the tales of the silver feather. As she walked deeper into the forest, Elara came across a wise old tortoise named Thaddeus, who was known for his knowledge of the enchanted woods. Thaddeus was resting on a moss-covered rock, basking in the weak winter sunlight. "Good day, Thaddeus," Elara greeted him respectfully. "I'm on a quest to find the silver feather. Can you help me?" Thaddeus looked at Elara with wise, kind eyes. "The silver feather is a difficult treasure to find," he said. "It is said to dwell in the heart of the Whispering Glade. But first, you must overcome 3 trials that test the purity of your heart." The first trial, the frosted lake. Elara followed Thaddeus's directions to a frozen lake surrounded by tall, snow-covered trees. The ice was thick and treacherous, and Elara had to cross it to continue her quest. As she stepped onto the ice, it began to crack and groan. In the middle of the lake, she spotted a riddle carved into the ice. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and then answered aloud, "Fire." With her answer, the ice beneath her feet stopped cracking, and a narrow path appeared, leading her safely to the other side. The first trial was complete. The second trial, the enchanted grove. Elara soon arrived at a grove filled with glowing, magical flowers. The grove was beautiful but bewildering. The flowers seemed to hum and dance in the cold wind, creating a maze of shimmering petals. A sign in the center of the grove read, "To pass through, you must find the path of light. Follow the song that leads to the heart." Elara listened closely to the harmonious melody of the flowers and followed the softest, most enchanting tune. As she walked, the flowers seemed to part, guiding her through the maze until she reached the center of the grove. There, a small, sparkling key lay on a pedestal. The third trial, the guardian of the Whispering Glade. Elara continued her journey and finally reached the Whispering Glade, a serene, mystical place with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets. In the center of the glade stood a majestic, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. The tree was the guardian of the glade. "Welcome, Elara," the guardian spoke in a deep, gentle voice. "You have completed the trials, but now you must show that your wish is truly selfless." Elara approached the guardian and spoke from her heart. "My wish is not for myself but for my village. I want to bring prosperity and warmth to those who are suffering from the harsh winter." The guardian listened intently and then nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless. The silver feather will grant your wish, but remember that true magic lies in the kindness you show others." The silver feather appears as the guardian spoke. A soft, shimmering light filled the glade. The silver feather appeared, its plumage sparkling like moonlight on fresh snow. The bird flew gracefully towards Elara, and she reached out, carefully taking the feather in her hand. The moment she held the silver feather, a warm, golden light enveloped the entire Whispering Glade. Elara felt a rush of joy and relief as the magic of the feather began to spread. Returned to the village. Elara hurried back to her village with the silver feather. When she arrived, she found that the feather's magic had already started to work. The snow began to melt, the crops revived, and a sense of warmth and renewal spread through the village. The villagers were overjoyed and amazed at the transformation. They celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the once struggling village now thrived with abundance. Elara's family was immensely proud of her, and the village honored her as a true hero. The silver feather, having fulfilled its purpose, disappeared back into the magical forest, leaving behind a lasting legacy of hope and generosity. A lasting legacy. Years passed, and the story of Elara and the silver feather became a cherished tale told to children around the village. Elara continued to help others, her actions always guided by the selflessness that had brought the silver feather to her. The kingdom flourished, and the forest remained a place of magic and wonder. Elara's legacy was a reminder that the greatest treasures are found in the kindness and love we give to others. And so, the village lived in prosperity and harmony, and the legend of the silver feather lived on as a beacon of hope for all who heard it. The end. Once upon a time, in the distant kingdom of Verdonia, there was a tale whispered among the villagers about a mystical creature, the silver phoenix. This magnificent bird, with feathers as bright as the moon and wings as wide as the sky, was said to possess the power of rebirth and immortality. Legend had it that whoever found one of its feathers would be granted a single wish, but only if the wish was for something pure of heart. In the village of Marin, there lived a humble young boy named Leo. He was known for his kindness, always helping his neighbors and caring for the animals in the village. Leo's family was poor, and they barely scraped by each year, but he never complained. What he wished for most wasn't wealth or fortune, but to cure his younger sister, Lyra, who had been sick for as long as he could remember. Lyra was frail, her laughter rare, and her strength weak, but her spirit was full of life, and her smile always warmed Leo's heart. One crisp autumn morning, an old traveler passed through the village. He spoke of seeing the silver phoenix high up in the misty mountains, where no one dared to venture. "I saw it with my own eyes," the traveler said, sipping from a cup of warm tea. Its feathers shimmered in the sunlight, and it flew with grace that no bird on this earth could match. Leo's heart pounded as he overheard the conversation. He knew what he had to do. Without wasting a moment, he gathered his belongings, some bread, a flask of water, and a small pouch of coins. His mother, worried and tearful, tried to stop him. "The misty mountains are dangerous, Leo. No one who has ventured there has returned," she cried. But Leo, with determination in his eyes, gently held her hand. "I must try, mother. For Lyra." And so, with his mother's reluctant blessing, Leo set off on his journey to find the silver phoenix. The path to the misty mountains was long and treacherous. The further Leo traveled, the colder and more desolate the landscape became. Trees were sparse, the wind howled, and thick fog rolled across the ground, making it difficult to see. Yet, Leo pressed on, driven by the love for his sister and the hope of finding the mythical bird. As the days passed, Leo grew weary. His feet ached, and the nights were bitterly cold. But one evening, as he was about to rest beneath a jagged rock, he saw a flicker of silver light in the distance. His heart leaped. Could it be the silver phoenix? With newfound energy, Leo climbed higher, the air growing thinner with each step. Finally, he reached the summit of a cliff, where the fog parted to reveal the most breathtaking sight he had ever seen. There, perched on a stone outcrop, was the silver phoenix. Its feathers glistened in the pale moonlight, each one reflecting the stars above. The bird's eyes were deep and wise, as if it had witnessed the birth and death of 1,000 worlds. For a moment, Leo was speechless. He had found it, the creature of legend. But how would he ask for a feather? He didn't want to hurt the phoenix or force it to give up its magic. So, he approached slowly, his heart full of respect and awe. "Great silver phoenix," Leo said softly, bowing his head. "I seek not riches or power, but the health of my sister, Lyra. She is kind, and though she is weak, her spirit is bright. If you would grant me just one of your feathers, I could save her." The phoenix tilted its head, studying Leo with those ancient, gleaming eyes. Then, it spread its magnificent wings, and a single silver feather floated gently down from its plumage, landing softly at Leo's feet. It sparkled as if filled with stardust. Leo's heart swelled with gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered, picking up the feather. He tucked it carefully into his bag and turned to begin the long journey home. As he descended the mountain, the fog thickened, and the wind grew harsher. The path became unclear, and Leo found himself lost. But just as despair began to creep into his heart, a soft, glowing light appeared before him, the phoenix's feather, glowing bright enough to guide his way. With its help, Leo made his way safely down the mountain and back to the village. When he arrived, the villagers were astonished to see him alive and well. His mother wept tears of joy, and Leo hurried inside to Lyra's bedside. She was paler than ever, her breathing shallow. With trembling hands, Leo took the silver feather from his bag and placed it gently on her chest. "Please, let this work," Leo whispered, holding her hand. The feather began to glow, and as it did, a warm light filled the room. Lyra's cheeks flushed with color, and her eyes fluttered open. She looked at Leo and smiled, her strength returning with every breath. "I feel better," she said, sitting up for the first time in months. Leo's heart soared. The silver phoenix had kept its promise. Lyra was healed. The village celebrated Leo's return, and word of the miracle spread far and wide. But Leo never sought fame or fortune. He was content knowing that his sister was healthy and happy once more. As for the silver phoenix, it was said that it continued to watch over the kingdom, its feathers carrying hope and healing for those who sought it with pure hearts. And so, Leo and Lyra lived happily ever after, their bond stronger than ever, knowing that love and kindness were the true magic that kept the world turning. The kingdom of the Whispering Winds. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a kingdom known as Etheria. This kingdom was unlike any other, for it floated high above the clouds, suspended in the sky by the magic of the Whispering Winds. The Whispering Winds were not ordinary breezes, they were sentient, speaking in soft tones and carrying messages across the land. The people of Etheria lived in harmony with these winds, relying on their guidance and protection. In this kingdom lived a young prince named Zephyr. Zephyr was known for his adventurous spirit and his deep connection with the Whispering Winds. He could often be found at the highest point of the kingdom, listening to the winds as they shared tales of distant lands and ancient secrets. Though he loved his home, Zephyr longed to explore the world below the clouds, a place he had only heard of in stories. One day, while Zephyr was listening to the winds, they brought him troubling news. "The winds that hold Etheria in the sky are weakening," they whispered. "A dark force is trying to break the bond between the kingdom and the winds. If nothing is done, Etheria will fall." Alarmed, Zephyr knew he had to act quickly. He went to his father, King Aeolus, and told him what the winds had said. The king, a wise and just ruler, understood the gravity of the situation. "We must protect our kingdom, my son," King Aeolus said. "But to do so, we need the Crystal of Gale, an ancient artifact that has the power to strengthen the Whispering Winds. It is hidden in the Cave of Echoes, far below, on the earth." Zephyr volunteered immediately. "I will go, father. I will find the Crystal of Gale and save our kingdom." The king, though worried, trusted his son's courage and wisdom. He gave Zephyr a small, enchanted amulet shaped like a feather. "This will protect you on your journey. Remember, the winds will always guide you." Zephyr set out on his quest, riding a swift cloud ship that descended from Etheria towards the earth below. The journey was perilous, with dark clouds and fierce storms trying to hinder his progress. But Zephyr kept the amulet close, and the Whispering Winds whispered encouragement in his ear, guiding him safely through the tempest. After days of travel, Zephyr reached the earth, a place that felt both strange and wondrous to him. He landed in a dense forest where the trees whispered in the breeze, their leaves shimmering like silver. Following the wind's guidance, Zephyr made his way to the Cave of Echoes. The entrance to the cave was hidden behind a waterfall, its waters sparkling in the sunlight. Zephyr took a deep breath and stepped through the waterfall, finding himself in a vast cavern where every sound echoed endlessly. The air was thick with magic, and Zephyr could feel the presence of the Crystal of Gale deep within the cave. As he ventured deeper, Zephyr encountered the cave's guardian, a giant eagle with feathers of pure gold and eyes that gleamed like amber. The eagle spread its wings, blocking Zephyr's path. "Who dares enter the Cave of Echoes?" the eagle demanded, its voice reverberating through the cavern. "I am Prince Zephyr of Etheria," Zephyr replied, standing tall. "I seek the Crystal of Gale to save my kingdom from falling." The eagle studied Zephyr for a moment before speaking. "The Crystal of Gale is powerful, but it can only be taken by one who is pure of heart and truly cares for their people. To prove your worth, you must answer this riddle. What can you hold in your right hand but not in your left?" Zephyr thought for a moment, then smiled and answered, "My left hand." The eagle nodded in approval, and with a mighty flap of its wings, it revealed a hidden chamber within the cave. In the center of the chamber, on a pedestal of stone, sat the Crystal of Gale. The crystal was a brilliant blue, glowing with an inner light that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Zephyr approached the crystal, and as he touched it, he felt a surge of energy and warmth. The whispering winds swirled around him, their voices full of joy. "You have found it, Zephyr. The crystal of Gale will save Etheria." With the crystal in hand, Zephyr hurried back to his cloud ship and ascended once more into the sky. The journey back was just as challenging, but Zephyr's determination and the crystal's power helped him overcome every obstacle. When he finally returned to Etheria, the kingdom was on the brink of collapse, teetering on the edge of the sky. Zephyr rushed to the highest point in the kingdom, where a great stone circle known as the Circle of Wind stood. Placing the crystal of Gale in the center of the circle, Zephyr watched as the crystal began to glow brighter and brighter. The whispering winds gathered around it, their strength restored. The winds lifted Etheria higher into the sky, stabilizing the kingdom and banishing the dark force that had threatened it. The people of Etheria rejoiced, and King Aeolus embraced his son, proud of his bravery and love for his home. From that day on, the Crystal of Gale was kept in the Circle of Winds, a symbol of the bond between the kingdom and the Whispering Winds. Prince Zephyr continued to explore the skies, always listening to the winds and protecting his kingdom. And so, Etheria flourished, floating high above the clouds, forever safe in the embrace of the Whispering Winds. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. In a distant land, nestled between the peaks of the Misty Mountains and the edge of the Enchanted Forest, there was a kingdom known as the Silver Glade. This kingdom was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, with silver streams flowing through lush meadows and trees that shimmered like diamonds under the sunlight. The heart of the kingdom was a majestic palace where King Cedric and Queen Alara ruled with wisdom and kindness. One day, the kingdom faced a grave threat. A dark sorcerer named Malachar, who dwelled in the Shadow Caves, coveted the magic of the Silver Glade and sought to claim it for himself. He had cast a spell that caused the silver streams to run dry and the trees to lose their sparkle. The once vibrant kingdom began to wither, and despair spread among the people. King Cedric, desperate to save his kingdom, consulted his wise advisor, the elderly wizard Alaric. Alaric revealed that the only way to restore the kingdom's magic was to find the Crystal of Light, a powerful gem hidden in the heart of the Enchanted Forest. However, the crystal was guarded by a series of mystical challenges that tested the heart and courage of those who sought it. Determined to save his kingdom, King Cedric announced a quest to find the Crystal of Light. The brave and kind-hearted Princess Aeliana, the king's daughter, volunteered to undertake the journey. She was known throughout the kingdom for her bravery and kindness, and her parents reluctantly agreed, trusting her to succeed where others might falter. With a heart full of hope and a sword of silver for protection, Aeliana set out into the Enchanted Forest. The forest was magical and alive with mysterious creatures. As she ventured deeper, she encountered her first challenge. Challenge 1. The Trial of the Golden Deer. Aeliana came upon a beautiful clearing where a golden deer with antlers that glowed like the sun stood by a crystal-clear pond. The deer spoke in a gentle voice, "To pass this trial, you must show your true heart. I am in search of a rare herb that will help heal my injured fawn. Will you assist me?" Aeliana agreed and, guided by the deer, searched the forest for the herb. Her kindness and patience led her to find the herb and return it to the golden deer. The deer, in gratitude, allowed her to pass and bestowed upon her a golden acorn, saying, "This acorn will light your path when darkness falls." Aeliana continued her journey, and as dusk approached, she encountered the second challenge. Challenge 2. The Trial of the Enchanted Bridge. In the fading light, she came upon an ancient bridge made of shimmering, woven vines. As she crossed it, the bridge began to sway and tremble. An ethereal voice spoke from the shadows, "To cross, you must confront your deepest fears." Aeliana was frightened but took a deep breath, focusing on the love she had for her kingdom and her determination to save it. As she walked across the swaying bridge, her courage and inner strength held the bridge steady, and she reached the other side safely. The final challenge lay ahead as she approached a grand, ancient tree at the heart of the forest. Challenge 3. The Trial of the Ancient Tree. The ancient tree, known as the Elder Oak, had a face carved into its trunk and spoke in a deep, resonant voice. "To retrieve the crystal of light, you must answer my riddle," said the tree. The riddle was, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Aliena thought carefully and replied, "A map." The elder oak's face brightened, and it revealed a hidden compartment within its trunk, containing a radiant crystal. The crystal of light sparkled with an intense, pure light. The tree said, "You have proven your worth. Take the crystal and restore your kingdom." With the crystal of light in hand, Aliena made her way back to the silver glade. As she approached, the crystal's light began to shine brightly, revitalizing the silver streams and restoring the sparkle to the trees. The kingdom's magic was reborn, and joy returned to the people. King Cedric and Queen Alara welcomed Aliena with pride and relief. The kingdom celebrated her bravery and kindness, and Malakar's dark magic was dispelled, banishing him from the land. To honor the bravery of Princess Aliena and the return of the kingdom's magic, the Silver Glade held a grand festival, where the skies were lit with fireworks, and the silver streams flowed with renewed brilliance. The crystal of light was placed in a sacred chamber within the palace, serving as a symbol of hope and resilience. Princess Aliena's journey became a cherished tale told throughout the kingdom, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that resides in the heart of those who dare to dream and act selflessly. And so, the Silver Glade thrived once more, bathed in light and laughter, as its people lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, emerald forest, there was a village named Breezebrook. This village was blessed with gentle winds that carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the melodious songs of birds. The villagers believed that these winds were enchanted, for they seemed to whisper secrets and carry messages from far-off lands. Among the villagers was a young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for the forest. She spent her days exploring the woods, listening to the whispers of the wind, and tending to the animals and plants. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in twilight, a sudden and eerie silence fell over Breezebrook. The winds that usually brought comfort and joy had stopped completely. The village became quiet and still, and the vibrant colors of the forest seemed to fade. The village elder, a wise woman named Elowen, gathered the villagers and explained that the winds had always been their guide and protector. Without the winds, the village's magic and harmony would be at risk. She revealed that the winds were controlled by the spirit of the forest, a mystical entity that lived deep within the heart of the woods. Determined to restore the balance, Arya volunteered to find the spirit of the forest and ask why the winds had stopped. With a map she had drawn from her years of exploring, she set out on her quest. The map led her through thick foliage and ancient trees, guiding her deeper into the forest than she had ever ventured before. As Arya journeyed, she encountered 3 magical creatures who guarded different parts of the forest. The first was a wise old owl named Orion who lived in the great oak tree. Orion's eyes glowed with wisdom, and he perched silently as Arya approached. "Brave traveler," Orion hooted softly, "to reach the spirit of the forest, you must first pass the trial of wisdom. Answer my riddle, and I shall guide you further." Orion's riddle was, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs. But I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and replied, "A fire." Orion nodded and pointed with his wing towards a path lined with glowing fireflies that led deeper into the forest. Next, Arya reached the edge of a shimmering lake where a graceful swan named Leora floated. Leora was known for her elegance and her ability to control the waters of the lake. "To proceed, you must pass the trial of compassion," Leora said. "There is a young fawn trapped in the reeds. Help it, and I will aid you in your quest." Arya followed Leora's directions and gently freed the fawn from the reeds, soothing it with kind words. Leora extended her wings, and a bridge of shimmering water appeared, allowing Arya to cross the lake. Finally, Arya arrived at the edge of a dense thicket, where a clever fox named Felix awaited. Felix was known for his cunning and agility. To reach the heart of the forest, You must complete the trial of courage, Felix said. Face your deepest fear and you shall find the path. Arya took a deep breath and walked through the thicket, where shadows danced and eerie sounds echoed. Despite her fear, she pressed on, her resolve unwavering. As she emerged on the other side, Felix acknowledged her bravery and pointed towards a hidden entrance covered in vines. With each trial completed, Arya approached the heart of the forest, a mystical glade bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a majestic tree with silver leaves that shimmered like stars. The spirit of the forest, a radiant figure with flowing robes of emerald and gold, appeared before her. Why have the winds stopped? Arya asked respectfully. The spirit of the forest smiled kindly. The winds have ceased because they were burdened by sadness. The harmony of the forest had been disrupted by a spell of discord. It is not until the heart of the forest is restored to balance that the winds can resume their gentle whispers. Arya listened carefully as the spirit explained that the spell could only be broken by a pure heart's wish. Arya took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, wishing for the forest's harmony to be restored and for the winds to return to Breezebrook. The spirit of the forest nodded, and with a wave of their hand, a wave of soothing energy spread through the forest. The silver leaves of the majestic tree shimmered brightly, and the gentle winds began to stir once more. The soothing breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers and the melodies of the forest back to Breezebrook. Arya returned to the village, where the winds had resumed their comforting presence. The villagers rejoiced as the vibrant colors of the forest returned and the harmony of their home was restored. They celebrated Arya's bravery and the renewal of their beloved winds. From that day on, Arya continued to explore the forest and listen to its whispers, and the spirit of the forest remained a guardian of the balance and harmony of the land. The village of Breezebrook thrived, and the whispering winds continued to bring joy and magic to all who lived there. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Verdantia, there was a majestic tree known as the Whispering Willow. This ancient tree stood at the edge of the enchanted forest, its branches draped with delicate silver leaves that shimmered in the moonlight. The Whispering Willow was said to hold the wisdom of the ages and had the power to grant a single wish to those who were pure of heart and sought its magic for a noble cause. In the nearby village of Brightwater, there lived a kind-hearted young woman named Leora. Leora was known throughout the village for her generosity and her willingness to help anyone in need. She worked tirelessly in the village's small clinic, healing the sick and caring for the elderly. Despite her selfless nature, Leora harbored a deep sorrow. Her beloved younger brother, Finn, had fallen ill with a mysterious ailment that no one could cure. One evening, as Leora sat by Finn's bedside, she overheard an old tale about the Whispering Willow and its magical wish. Determined to save her brother, Leora decided to embark on a quest to find the tree and ask for its help. The next morning, with a small satchel of provisions and a heart full of hope, Leora ventured into the enchanted forest. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. The path to the Whispering Willow was said to be challenging, but Leora's resolve was unshakable. As Leora walked deeper into the forest, she encountered a series of trials. First, she faced a dense fog that obscured her path. She could hardly see a few steps ahead, but she remained calm and used her intuition to find her way. Soon, a friendly firefly appeared, guiding her through the mist with its gentle light. Next, Leora reached a river with a rickety bridge that swayed dangerously. She needed to cross, but the bridge looked unstable. With determination, she carefully made her way across, using the firefly's light to guide her steps and focusing on her goal. Finally, Leora arrived at a grove where the Whispering Willow stood in its full glory. The tree's silver leaves rustled softly, and its branches seemed to reach out as if welcoming her. Leora approached the tree with reverence and spoke from her heart. "Great Whispering Willow, I have come seeking your help. My brother, Finn, is gravely ill, and no healer in the village has been able to cure him. I ask for your wisdom and magic to save him." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed gently, and a soft, melodious voice emanated from the tree. "You have shown great courage and selflessness on your journey. To grant your wish, you must first understand the true nature of healing and compassion. The tree's words puzzled Leora, but she listened intently. What must I do? She asked. The whispering willow continued, healing is not just about curing the body but also about nurturing the spirit. You must share the wisdom you have gained from your journey with those in need, and only then will the magic be revealed. Understanding the tree's message, Leora decided to return to her village. She spent the next few weeks teaching others what she had learned about patience, kindness, and the importance of community. She shared her experiences and encouraged her fellow villagers to support one another, especially in times of hardship. During this time, the village began to thrive with newfound harmony. The people grew closer, and they worked together to improve their lives. The collective spirit of compassion and unity created a positive change in the village. One day, as Leora tended to her brother, she noticed that Finn's condition was improving. The mysterious ailment that had once plagued him seemed to be fading. With each passing day, Finn grew stronger and more vibrant. Leora realized that the Whispering Willow's wisdom had indeed worked its magic, not just through a direct cure but by fostering a spirit of healing and support within the community. Grateful and filled with hope, Leora visited the Whispering Willow once more to thank it for its guidance. The tree's branches swayed gently, and a soft glow surrounded it, as if the tree itself was smiling in contentment. You have learned the true essence of healing, the Whispering Willow said. May the wisdom you have gained continue to bring light and compassion to the world. Leora returned to her village, where she and Finn were joyfully reunited. The village of Brightwater continued to flourish, and the bonds of community grew stronger. The tale of Leora's quest and the Whispering Willow became a cherished story, reminding everyone of the power of selflessness, wisdom, and the importance of nurturing the spirit as well as the body. And so, the Whispering Willow remained a symbol of hope and wisdom in the enchanted forest, its gentle whispers guiding those who sought its magic with pure hearts. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and mystical forest, there was a kingdom named Ilara. Ilara was known for its breathtaking beauty, with towering mountains, sparkling rivers, and lush meadows. At the center of the kingdom stood a magnificent castle where King Rowan and Queen Seraphina ruled with wisdom and kindness. The most treasured possession of the kingdom was the Crystal Crown, a radiant artifact said to hold the power of the stars. This crown was worn only by the ruler during times of great need and was believed to bring prosperity and peace to the land. It was kept safely in a hidden chamber beneath the castle, guarded by an ancient spell. One day, a dark sorcerer named Malachi, who had long envied the kingdom's peace and prosperity, discovered the secret of the Crystal Crown. Driven by greed and a desire for power, he devised a plan to steal it. Under the cover of night, he cast a spell to bypass the crown's magical defenses and stole the precious artifact from its resting place. When King Rowan and Queen Seraphina discovered the theft, they were devastated. Without the Crystal Crown, the kingdom's magic began to wane, and darkness started spreading across the land. The once vibrant fields began to wither, and the rivers dried up. The kingdom was in great distress. In the midst of this turmoil, a brave and kind-hearted young woman named Lyra, who was the queen's loyal servant, stepped forward. Lyra had always been known for her courage and compassion. Determined to restore the kingdom's magic, she offered to retrieve the Crystal Crown from Malachi. The king and queen were initially reluctant, fearing for Lyra's safety, but they knew that she was their best hope. They blessed her journey and gave her a small, enchanted pendant for protection. Lyra set out on her quest, following the faint trail of dark magic left by Malachi. The path led her through the enchanted forest, a place filled with mystical creatures and ancient spells. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old owl named Orin. "Where are you headed, young one?" Orin asked. "To find the Crystal Crown and save my kingdom," Lyra replied. Orin's eyes gleamed with understanding. "Beware, for Malachi's lair is filled with dangerous traps and illusions. You will need both bravery and wit to succeed." Lyra thanked Orin and continued her journey. She crossed the Whispering River, where the water spoke in riddles, and solved their puzzles to gain passage. She climbed the towering cliffs of Echoes, where she faced her deepest fears reflected back at her. With each challenge, Lyra grew more determined and wise. Finally, she reached the dark fortress where Malachi had hidden the crystal crown. The fortress was a grim and foreboding place, shrouded in shadow and silence. Lyra approached cautiously and found a hidden entrance. Inside, she navigated through a maze of dark corridors and enchanted traps. Her pendant glowed softly, guiding her and protecting her from harm. As she neared the throne room, she heard Malachi's sinister laughter echoing through the halls. Lyra entered the throne room and saw Malachi seated on a dark throne, the crystal crown glowing menacingly in his hands. The sorcerer's eyes widened in surprise and anger as he saw Lyra. "So, you've come to reclaim what is not yours," Malachi sneered. "I'm here to restore what you have stolen and to bring peace back to my kingdom," Lyra declared. A fierce battle ensued. Malachi unleashed dark spells, but Lyra used her agility and quick thinking to dodge them. She remembered Orin's advice and used her wits to outsmart the sorcerer. In a climactic moment, Lyra managed to knock the crystal crown from Malachi's grasp and secured it with the enchanted pendant's power. Malachi, realizing his defeat, vanished into the shadows, vowing to return one day. Lyra took the crystal crown and made her way back to Elara. Upon her return, the kingdom celebrated Lyra's bravery and determination. The crystal crown was placed back in its rightful place, and its magic began to heal the land. The fields became lush again, the rivers flowed with clear water, and the kingdom's peace was restored. King Rowan and Queen Seraphina honored Lyra with the highest accolade and made her a trusted advisor. Under her guidance, the kingdom flourished like never before. The people of Elara remembered her bravery and kindness, and her story became a cherished legend. And so, the kingdom of Elara thrived, safeguarded by the wisdom of its rulers and the courage of its people. The crystal crown continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and resilience for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sun shone brighter than gold and the river sparkled like diamonds, there was a tiny village called Willowbrook. The village was named after a grand willow tree that stood at its heart. This tree was no ordinary tree, it was ancient, wise, and could whisper secrets to those who listened closely. In Willowbrook, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness, her curious nature, and most of all, her love for the willow tree. Every day after her chores, she would sit beneath the tree's sweeping branches, listening to its whispers. Though no one else seemed to hear the tree, Elara could understand its gentle murmurs as if it were speaking directly to her. One afternoon, as Elara sat beneath the tree's shade, the willow whispered something different. "Elara," it sighed, "a great danger is coming to the kingdom. A shadow will fall upon the land, and only you can prevent it." Elara's heart pounded with fear and excitement. "But I am just a girl," she whispered back, her voice trembling. "How can I stop a shadow?" The willow's leaves rustled softly. "You have a pure heart and a brave spirit. Seek the hidden key beneath my roots, and you will find your way." With determination in her heart, Elara dug beneath the tree's roots, her fingers searching through the cool earth. Soon, she found the small, golden key, its surface etched with intricate patterns. Holding the key tightly, Elara asked, "What does this key unlock?" "The door to the hidden realm," the willow replied. "Follow the river until it forks, and there you will find a secret path. The key will guide you." Elara knew there was no time to waste. She packed a small satchel with some bread, cheese, and a flask of water, then set off toward the river. As she walked, she could feel the key growing warmer in her hand, almost as if it were alive, urging her forward. After several hours, Elara reached the fork in the river. Just as the willow had said, a narrow, overgrown path led away from the water's edge, hidden by the thick underbrush. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the path. The forest grew darker as she ventured deeper, the trees closing in around her. But Elara pressed on, her courage bolstered by the key's warmth. Finally, she reached a clearing where an ancient stone door stood, half buried in ivy and moss. Elara held up the key, and as she did, the door began to glow with a soft, golden light. The key fit perfectly into a small keyhole in the center of the door. As she turned it, the door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase that led deep underground. With her heart in her throat, Alara descended the stairs. The air grew cooler, and the sound of her footsteps echoed off the stone walls. At the bottom of the stairs, she entered a vast chamber filled with strange, shimmering light. In the center of the chamber stood a tall, shadowy figure. Its form was indistinct, shifting like smoke, and its eyes glowed with an eerie red light. Alara knew at once that this was the shadow the willow had warned her about. "Who dares enter my domain?" the shadow hissed, its voice like the rustling of dead leaves. "I am Alara of Willowbrook," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "I have come to stop you from spreading darkness across the kingdom." The shadow laughed, a sound that chilled Alara to the bone. "You are but a child. How do you intend to stop me?" Alara held up the golden key, and as she did, the chamber was filled with a brilliant light. The shadow recoiled, hissing in anger. "This key was given to me by the Whispering Willow," Alara said, her voice strong. "It holds the power of the ancient forest, and it will banish you from this land." With those words, the light from the key grew even brighter, filling the chamber with warmth and hope. The shadow shrieked in pain, its form twisting and shrinking until it was nothing more than a wisp of smoke. With a final, desperate cry, the shadow was sucked into the key, and the chamber fell silent. Alara stood alone in the chamber, her heart pounding with relief. The key, now cool in her hand, had returned to its normal state. She knew the danger had passed, and the kingdom was safe once more. When Alara returned to Willowbrook, the villagers were amazed by her bravery. The Whispering Willow greeted her with a gentle rustle of its leaves, its whispers full of pride and gratitude. From that day on, Alara was known as the Guardian of the Willow, the girl who had saved the kingdom from darkness. She continued to visit the willow every day, listening to its wise whispers and ensuring that the peace she had fought for would last. And so, the kingdom of Willowbrook flourished, bathed in the golden light of the sun, free from the shadow that had once threatened its beauty. And Alara, the brave and kind-hearted girl, lived happily ever after.